Everybody, so today I figured I'd make a little video to show you a different side of me. Normally I'm outdoors hiking, fishing, but it is springtime in New England, so the weather's been a little bit crazy between cold, snow, and warm weather. Plus at the making of this video, we were under COVID-19 stay-at-home restrictions. It's kind of weird because I live on a border of 3 states come together and they're kind of enforcing it different ways on whether or not you can be outside or not. Things are not consistent, but today's not a day to be outside anyway. It goes from raining to sun and it's been cold. Normally when I talk about painting and painting from nature, I'm outdoors, but as you can see, I'm in the studio today because of the weather. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some of the paintings that I have done and talk a little bit about painting from nature. Being outdoors, it's a great way to express yourself when a photograph is not the best option. It's very relaxing painting out in nature. So let me show you some of the work that I have done. This is not going to be a regular occurrence on my channel though. This is not going to turn into an art channel, but it's just to show a little bit different side to me. And so here's some of the paintings that I've done in the past that were done on canvases with acrylic paints, and I've actually sold all these now, so I just have copies of them in my little sketchbook. So moving on to show you some of the different paintings that I've done that are watercolors and various ink paintings. What I like to do in my scrapbook is to actually label them as far as where they were painted, what materials they were used, and the date that I actually did the painting. So I'm just going to flip through these a little bit quick. That's a scene down in Florida. That's another scene down in Florida. Now, sometimes I'll go ahead and pick up things along the way. This was a flower that was kind of like an orchid that was growing on a tree, and then I painted what the tree actually looked like. This here was done actually with gel pen. The reason why I like to enclose a little bit of description is help me remind me of where these actually occurred and why I painted them. That's great for bringing back memories. Also a little bit of doodling. Apartment I lived in down in Florida. This is a waterfall here in town. Scene from my mother's garden. These here are just different Christmas cards that I've made. These are more or less watercolors. That was a hike that I did. I actually did a video on that one in the hike. Covered bridge out in the middle of the woods where I live. One of the lakes where I live. Old stone bridge remnants. Either, I don't think it was railroad. I think it was probably more horse and buggy from the 1800s. This is the photo that I am going to be painting from. It's a waterfall scene. Probably would have been a lot easier to do this out in nature so that I could get better dimensions versus working with a photo. So what I did was I went ahead and drew basic outlines of where the elements are as far as the waterfall, the water coming down, the bank on the other side, and also the rocks going up and the tree growing up out of the bank of the dam on that side. Throughout up in here is all going to be trees, mostly greens because it was very early autumn. Not quite foliage season yet, but we're going to go ahead and get started in painting this. So this is what the finished painting looks like. Like I said, this is kind of my representation. It's not an exact copy of the photograph, but it's a nature painting nonetheless, and almost kind of looks like the area.